So if it's one thing I've learned over the years is that if you're not ready, it'll never work. No matter how much you think that you want something, it's not enough. You have to be ready. Some people like the idea of it. They like the idea of, oh, I would like to get that. Of course you do, but there's a lot of other things going on in their lives, and just the amount of work required is just something they're just not psychologically prepared for. No matter how much the thought of it might be nice, if you're not ready, you're not going to do it. So, I think for a person like that, the most important thing would be just getting themselves into a place where they are ready or can feel ready. So there is this thing called threshold for change, right? So being at threshold. There's three aspects to it. One is that the person realizes that something has to change. They're in a place where this thing in my life it needs to change, right? And then the second part is that they realize that thing isn't going to change. It's that I need to change. It's not someone else or something else, outside of me needs to change. I need to do the change. I need to do the work, right? But then someone can be well in that place, taking responsibility for it and really knowing and needing that it has to change. It has to be now. That's the last piece. It's got to be right now. That usually comes from having enough pain around it. Something else on that, though, is that if someone's constantly being just driven by pain, they're only just trying to move away from pain and out of pain, then when they start, it's based on that pain. But then also once they start and they lose a little bit of weight and it's not so painful anymore, then they just stop. Because it's only just whatever's the most painful thing. If continuing this diet is more painful, or continuing this sort of health kick is too painful, I'll stop that. But then being super overweight and feeling horrible is too painful, then you're dieting again, or being healthy again. It's like, so you're just going to get kicked around by whatever's more painful. There has to be a vision that's driving you more as well. It has to be both a sense of wanting to get away from the thing that's painful, but also having a vision that's driving you to keep going. If all we're driven by is pain, you're just going to constantly stop and start. And that's the yo-yoing. That's when people yo-yo diet. That's what that's about. It's just because you've just been kicked around by whatever's the most painful thing. If it's more painful to continue, you don't. If it's more painful to be overweight, then you'll move away from that. What brings someone to a place of being ready? This is what someone can focus on more than anything to get themselves to the place of starting. There's so many people that I've started doing personal training with, and they thought that they were ready because they do have a desire for it, but it's just not enough, so then they start doing it and it's painful and it's such a mammoth effort that the system just kicks them out. They're just saying, oh, it's too much effort. So they wanted it, but they're not ready for it, right? So they would probably been better off starting slower and not coming to that point yet. Sometimes I find that the people who are coaching, the coaching clients that I've had, even just over Zoom, they typically are more successful because they've come to a point where they're saying, I'm ready to receive information, I'm ready to learn, I'm ready to get advice for me to apply for myself. Rather than someone who's sort of coming into the personal training and just sort of saying, well, can someone else do this for me? That to some degree suggests a certain sense of them personally not being ready to put the effort in them, to get themselves in motion on their own volition. Here's just some ideas to stimulate someone into a place of getting more ready and being more ready. So there's 4 of these situations that really stimulate someone to get into that place of readiness. Right? And the first one is that they're hurting enough so that they have to. Right? And this, we just talked about this earlier, where there's enough pain around it. Their joints are sore, they feel completely worthless, that they feel unattractive, low energy. It's hurting so much that they have to change. It's enough is enough. Their health is deteriorating, their self-worth is deteriorating, and they just have to change, right? That's an example of that. So if you could increase the amount of pain in your life, then you become more ready, right, around that thing. Another situation is that they see enough that they're inspired to change, right? So this is where there's probably some maybe friends around them that have losing weight. Maybe they see some stories online, watch a video like this, and then they become inspired. They see it. They see the possibility of it. They see people like them achieving the same thing. They hear about the people in their lives that are doing what they want to do. So they're inspired to do it because of the things that they see. They see the possibility and the reality of being able to achieve that, and the benefits that will bring to their lives. They see that. So the third one is that they learn enough that they want to. So a lot of people will watch a documentary, and then they just or they read a book, or they have some sort of teacher or a friend or something to that is telling them about all the benefits that they'll get from it. Maybe a doctor or a certain illness that they have, sort of just gets them learning about health, and then they see that the benefit. They understand about the brain health and how much better life could be based on these, how this all works. And then they start thinking about longevity in their life and how they want to live the last 10 years of their lives, or and then they learn, look, this is really important. This is really important for maximizing my experience in life and lengthening my experience in life. So, and they learn enough that they want to, right? The fourth one is that they receive enough that they are able to. So someone might be right there, right on the cusp of readiness, but there's time constraints on them. There's just some other chaotic factors in their life. There's something in their life that's lacking, and then when they have enough support and they have the right systems in place in their life, that the space opens up that they can actually go and take care of themselves. So to receive enough that they're able to. Sometimes people aren't able to do much. I mean, I always say that you can always do something no matter what your circumstances are. But even then, maybe it's a mother who's working 2 jobs and a single parent. They're sort of maxed out on left, right, and center. Once they receive enough, even just some support. Sometimes that's how much they need to receive. Sometimes isn't that much, especially if you're only going to start planting the seed and do a little. But sometimes you do need something. You do need to receive something. And whether you actually seek out something to receive, whether it be from a coach or whether it be from a family member, seeking out that thing that is needed to support you, to be able to. Pointing your attention to what can get you to the starting line is sometimes a more valuable and appropriate thing to do. A lot of the time we are way behind even the starting line. That's the thing, when people just sort of rock up and think, okay, well, here we go, let's start tomorrow. The truth is, sometimes there is a journey that needs to happen to even get to the starting line. That's where it begins there. Well, it begins way before the starting line, but before we start trying to get results, we actually just need to prepare things, prepare your environment, either be experiencing enough pain, dial up the pain for yourself, really focus on how this is hurting you. Look for those inspirations in life. Look for the inspirations around the possibility and the reality of being able to do this and how much you're going to benefit from it, so that you're inspired to. Learn as much as you can. Learn as much as you can about how much this is going to benefit you and about all the good things that you're going to get from it. And then get what you need. Seek out what you need to receive. These are some of the things that can get you to that starting line so you can powerfully begin. So I hope that was insightful and that helps you get to the starting line, helps you get ready. That is part of the process, getting ready. It's not all about the action. It's not all about getting results. It's not, and that's the thing. People trip over themselves, getting to that point and fail because they're just trying to start too fast. The truth, maybe starting isn't the starting point. Maybe it's just getting ready. Maybe it's preparing yourself to. It's very big piece is actually just preparing to, because if you don't prepare properly, you tend to fail. Comment down below, subscribe, check out the other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time.